Jared Fogle, he's the longtime pitchman for Subway sandwich shops, to more than 15 years in prison after he pleaded guilty to child porn and other sex-related charges. Tom Busby, CNBC.
There are no guarantees in love, but there is a guarantee from EH Plus by eHarmony, our new personal matchmaking service. At EH Plus, your own personal matchmaker gets to know you so well, we can guarantee introductions that will be satisfying and exciting. EH Plus goes far beyond regular online dating sites, and that's a guarantee. Visit us at ehplus.com/love or call 1-855-930-LOVE.
You're a small to mid-sized business with 300 to 3,000 employees. You face the same network security challenges as big businesses do, but can't support a big IT investment, leaving your doors open to advanced cyber threats. Barracuda next-generation firewalls provide all the core features of enterprise firewalls and UTMs, but without hidden costs and deployment hurdles, making owning a big business firewall no big deal for your SMB. Reclaim your network. Try a Barracuda next-gen firewall risk-free at barracuda.com/firewalls.
You're listening to KCAA Loma Linda at 106.5 FM, K293CF Moreno Valley. The Redlands Passenger Rail Project is going to happen. Get the information expressed on this story and more in the Redlands City News. Catch local stories posted online daily. The Redlands City News, online at redlandscitynews.com or in print at locations near you.
Good afternoon. It's 12:02. I'm Di Rice with the very latest in live local news here on KCAA 1050 AM and 106.5 FM. Well, contractors for the 91 expansion project have agreed to demands set forth by Corona officials in an attempt not only to soothe gridlocked streets, but angry residents as well. Corona drivers have been complaining for months about a perceived lack of planning. So Corona Public Works Director Nelson sent a letter November 9th to project manager Jan Bone demanding several aspects of the project be altered to fix local traffic issues which have been deteriorating rapidly, such as the restriping of several roads and delaying the closure of the westbound Grand on-ramp until December, mid-December that is, when other improvements will be finished and then be able to accommodate redirected traffic. Bone agreed to those demands, as well as creating a new traffic maintenance sub-task force, which will allow the city's traffic engineers to meet with contractors and county transportation officials twice each month to fine-tune local adjustments. Despite agreements, residents are still upset. They're calling for the resignation of Corona City Councilwoman and Riverside County Transportation Commissioner Karen Spiegel. And homeowners in Riverside and San Bernardino counties enjoyed the fastest gain in the past 12 months in the value of their homes in Southern California. But falling sales prices suggest gains may have peaked. CoreLogic says Inland Empire sales prices declined to an average of $285,000 in October, the third drop in as many months. San Bernardino County recorded the sharpest drop, more than 3% from September. Prices have not returned to their all-time peak set in 2007. The volume of homes sold last month was down from the previous month across most of Southern California. CoreLogic says sales are being constrained by a tight inventory of homes for sale and lower affordability. Inland Empire weather. Nice and sunshiny day out there for you with a high expected to reach into the mid-80s. Overnight lows 49 and more of the same tomorrow. Looking at your drive, we have got stop-and-go traffic on the 91 westbound between the 15 and the 6th Street, Maple Street exit. And eastbound side is busy from Lincoln Avenue to the 15, and then once again from Adams Street to Madison. 15 North busy from Magnolia to the 91. In the Cajon Pass, there is an accident in the left lane of the 15 just past the 138. And that is the very latest with news, weather, and traffic on the station that leaves no listener behind, KCAA 1050 AM and 106.5 FM.
Get your earplugs ready for the next rave at the Orange Show. Find out when in the calendar section of the Grand Terrace City News. You can also catch local education, business, and sports and entertainment news in print and online at grandterracecitynews.com. The Grand Terrace City News, local news you use.
Broadcasting more local radio programs than any other station in California, we are KCAA.
Determination.
You can be intentional about your character, your work ethic.
You've got to be on the same page.
Today we're calling to let you know we are debt-free, house and everything.
You have done really, really, really good. And you're not going to quit now.
It's been a huge witness for us to be able to share that.
It was time to get serious.
Intentionality, people.
Celebrate the success.
Oh my goodness, thank you so much.
This is your show, America.
If I knew at 22 what I know now, our life would be better off.
It's the show that's changing the world. Now you don't just listen to the show, you live. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, it's the Dave Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. I'm Dave Ramsey, your host. This is your show, America. Thank you for joining us. Open phones this hour at 888-825-5225. Gerald starts off this hour in Los Angeles. Hi, Gerald. How are you?
Hi, Dave. Thanks for taking my call. Appreciate it.
Sure.
My question is regarding my grandmother down in Atlanta, Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
She has dementia, and she lives with her sister, which is my aunt.
Mm-hmm.
But her home, which is vacant right now, the home is underneath my grandmother's name and my aunt,
mm-hmm.
and my aunt is deceased.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to get get on the title for my grandmother's home. I currently have power of attorney. And I wasn't sure the best way to go about that.
Why are you supposed to be getting on the title?
To rent the home out and just to make sure I have control over the home.
You do if you have power of attorney.
You do?
Yeah, you can rent it out if you have power of attorney. But you're doing all of this for the good of your grandmother is what you're supposed to be doing.
That's right, because the home is vacant. The insurance policy that's on the home is a homeowner, as an owner-occupied, and the vacant home insurance policies is pretty expensive.
Yeah, you need to get it rented and get a new policy put on it. And the power of attorney gives you the power to do all of that.
Okay.
Now, what happened to your aunt's estate?
The
one that died.
Nothing in particular, just went through probate, nothing.
Well, I mean, who inherited her half of the house?
That's a good question.
Because if you want to do something with it, ultimately, you've got to have that entity sign on her behalf. Now, if your grandmother did your aunt predecease your grandmother? Your grandmother's still alive. Okay. So,
that's right.
And so, was your grandmother possibly your aunt's only heir?
Yes, at the time, because I'm here in California. That's right.
No. Where you're located doesn't make you an heir or not. It's bloodline. If there's no will, did your aunt have a will?
No.
Okay. Then the state of Georgia, when they probated that will, which is where the lady was living, I assume, when she passed, would dictate who inherited her half. I'm hoping. So your aunt, that was her mother, right? Your grandmother's her mother?
That's right.
Okay. Did your aunt have any brothers or sisters?
She does. One sister, which is out here in California, which is my mother.
Mm-hmm.
But the
Does she have any kids?
3 kids. So my mother, which is here in California, the aunt that's deceased, and another son.
No, did the aunt have kids?
Yes.
Oh, Lord. Okay. Yeah, you're going to have trouble getting rid of this house unless you get some kind of a ruling from the probate court as to your aunt's half, who signs off for that. But in the meantime, you're not trying to get rid of it. You're just trying to get it rented, and the power of attorney will give you the power to do that.
Okay.
But in order to sell the house, you could sign on behalf of your grandmother with the power of attorney. But who signs on behalf of your aunt's estate would be her heirs. And that, my friend, is what's known as a nightmare with what you just described to me.
I see.
What's the house worth?
I think about 40,000, 50,000.
Oh,
not much.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, not much.
So the heirs to your aunt's half of the house would have to sign off and receive their portion. And that has to probably be determined by a court if it wasn't in the probate.
I see. Okay.
If her estate was probated, the court may have already done it. So what I would do is, you got any contacts in Atlanta that could run by the probate court or an attorney over there that you've worked with that did the power of attorney or something that could run by the probate court and pick up the file on your aunt?
Not really. I travel back and forth to take my grandmother to doctor visits and things like that.
Okay, so you could run, make a trip down to the courthouse in the county that she was living in, your aunt, that probated the will or probated the estate. There wasn't a will. And see if there's a file, and if in that file, if the judge determined the heirs and what was to happen to the dispersal of her estate. Okay?
I see.
And if not, you may have to actually hire an attorney, and it may cost a couple $1,000s to get that portion straightened out someday when you get ready to sell this property. Does your grandmother have a will?
She does, but it needs to be updated. That was also what I was
It can't be updated. She has dementia.
Right, okay.
Power of attorney you can't use to update a will. So that is her will, whatever it is. And so when she dies, that in combination with your aunt's death is going to be the barrel of fish hooks that you get to untangle. This is a Rubik's Cube, okay? In order to get this little $45,000 house sold. But I would go ahead and start on it now, since you've been willing to take on the job. And next time you're over there, pull the probate file and see if you can get that unraveled, and then put those heirs in combination with your grandmother's heirs upon her passing and have a plan for this house, because you don't want to be handling it 10 years from now still on the behalf of a whole bunch of people that are just, you became the property manager by default. That would not be a long-term plan for this. But for today, rent it, get the insurance turned over, and you can use power of attorney to do all that. Good question. Kim is with us in Omaha, Nebraska. Hi, Kim. How are you?
Hi, Dave. I'm well. How are you today?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
Excellent. I have a question about borrowing money, your favorite topic to mediate quickly. So hopefully you can answer my question fast.
I'll try.
We have a home here in Omaha that we need to sell. We're relocating to another area of the country, and we're wondering if we need to borrow money to fix up some of the features on it to sell it at a better price.
What needs to be fixed up?
The roof, some exterior paint, possibly just some modifications like some carpeting in the basement area and some concrete work.
What's it worth after it's fixed?
After it's fixed, we might be able to sell it after we fixed everything a little over $200. If we don't, then we're going to probably sell it in the $180 range.
I'll just sell it.
You just sell it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because what you described to me, you're getting ready to spend $12,000-14,000 anyway.
Yes.
In order to get 20 more, sell it. Just sell it as is. If you can get $180 for it versus $200.
Okay.
I wouldn't go to all that trouble for $5,000.
I thank you for your input. I do appreciate it.
Hey, thanks for the call. I appreciate you joining us. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Folks, I am so excited about Chris Hogan's new book, Retire Inspired. We have got it on sale now, pre-order. It comes out January the 11th. It's an incredible book showing you how to live your dream at retirement. And retirement's not necessarily 65. You need to start thinking about this when you're 25 or 55. Retirement's not an old people thing. It's a smart people thing. If you order right now, you get a $20 book. Why would you order a $20 book in advance, this far in advance? Because we're going to give you $70 worth of stuff included. That includes the ebook, the digital audio book, a video called Investing Basics, a retirement budgeting guide, and my ebook, The Legacy Journey. All of that. Some of it comes now. Some of it comes in January when the book comes. But $70 worth of stuff for $19.99. Check it out at DaveRamsey.com.
Larry Burnett here, inviting you to join Mark Mancini, Fred Wallen, and me for Open Season every Thursday at 3:05 p.m. here on KCAA. We talk sports the way real sports fans talk sports, and we talk sports with some of the biggest names in the game. Names like Vin Scully, Jerry West, Goldberg, Tommy John, Sam Bam Cunningham, and Byron Scott. We tackle the issues and we don't pull any punches. So join us for Open Season every Thursday afternoon here on KCAA AM and FM.
That's 1050 AM and 106.5 FM.
I literally started my business on a card table in my living room. In those days, I was the one responsible for keeping track of my expenses. And if I wanted my family to eat, I had to make sure the money was coming in. I was a true entrepreneur. Nowadays, I know there's a better way. It's called FreshBooks. And I'm a big fan of what they do. FreshBooks is an online software and mobile app that allows you to track your time, capture expenses, and create professional invoices. It's easy and it works. Find out what over 5 million entrepreneurs and small business owners just like you have already discovered. You can try it free today at getfreshbooks.com. Just enter the Dave Ramsey Show under How Did You Hear About Us for your free 30-day trial. That's getfreshbooks.com. And remember, enter the Dave Ramsey Show to get started today.
This is KCAA.
And now it's time for another Support San Bernardino Spotlight.
Hi, my name is George Hahn. I am the Senior Minister at the Center for Spiritual Living Inland Empire. In the next few weeks, we would like to support San Bernardino by highlighting the outstanding things about our city. Today's program features Dennis Baxter from Habitat for Humanity.
Thank you, George. I'm very proud that Habitat for Humanity San Bernardino area has been serving the residents of the area since 1992, so that's 24 years of building homes and building hope. Each partner family participates in our own curriculum in the greater San Bernardino area that provides guidance and resources to a successful long-term experience as being a homeowner. We have financial literacy classes that they go through so they understand the difference between being a homeowner and being a renter. Our Brush with Kindness program helps out low-income folks with, simple chores around the house. And, of course, our Restore, located in Redlands, is a real part of our fundraising effort. So it's building homes, it's building hope. Folks can give us a call at 909-478-1176 or habitatsb.org.
This program was underwritten by Center for Spiritual Living Inland Empire. If you would like information about today's program, please contact me, Reverend George, by calling 909-883-7171. That's 909-883-7171.
Hey Di, do you know that many people have no idea that the Carousel Mall is actually open?
What? Do you tell them that that's where KCAA is located?
Of course, but there's more than just KCAA here.
Oh, I know. It's a totally great place for a girls' outing. Here at the Carousel Mall, there's Mega Beauty Supply.
And it's huge.
Yeah, the biggest beauty supply store I've ever seen. And they have wigs and extensions.
Then there's Backstreet Beauty Salon and Daniel's Jewelers, a store, by the way, for girls and guys.
Yes, and Nail Fashions where they do waxing and eyelash extensions. There's Lisa's Threading. You know, Mark, eyebrow threading is a big thing nowadays.
I do know about Mr. Yu's.
Yes, when you're ready for lunch, it's Mr. Yu's Chinese restaurant.
Best of all, Mr. Yu's is right next to KCAA.
Yes, all this located in the Carousel Mall, right off the 215, the 2nd and 3rd Street exit.
Come visit the Carousel
Timothy
Mall.
and Jennifer are with us. Hey, guys, how are you?
We're good, Dave. How are you?
Better than I deserve. Welcome, welcome. Where do you all live?
Osceola, Indiana, just outside South Bend.
Oh, fun. Very cool. And here to do a debt-free scream in Nashville.
Yes, we are. Yep.
I love it. And how much have you paid off?
A little over $20,000 in about just over 6 months.
Very good. Making what kind of money?
About $72,000.
Okay, excellent. What kind of debt?
A little bit of everything, Dave. About $11,000 on a car loan, couple thousand on a credit card, some medical debt, and some finance loans and stuff like that. Just all the little stuff.
Very cool. So you were kind of normal.
Pretty much, yeah.
And you knocked it all out in 6 months.
Yep.
Tell me the story. What happened?
Well, Jen's parents have helped us out quite a bit. Her grandparents were into investing quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
So about last year, probably about a year ago or so, they were able to sell the grandparents' house and help pay off Jen's student loans.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So most of them. We had a little bit left that was in our debt snowball as well. Mm-hmm. And then come fast forward to this year, Jen's dad decided to give us some money for Christmas with the intent that we open Roth IRAs.
Mm-hmm.
I had no idea what a Roth IRA was. So I got online and started doing some research and looking it up and praying about it. Been going to church recently and stuff. Mm-hmm. And up on the video screen, they were doing some growth groups. We were going to do a young married couple one, but your name was up there as well. So it said Dave Ramsey Total Money Makeover Group. I'm like, well, maybe that guy knows something about money. I didn't know what to do. So went home, looked up the audiobook, downloaded that, and started listening to it, and was hooked ever since.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
So, Jen, what happened when this guy decided he was interested in money all of a sudden with you?
It was a rough start.
I kind of came home and did the thing of, well, we need to get out of debt. We need to do this, this, and this. And she was, no.
I'm very detail-oriented, not the big picture. That's his side of life.
Mm-hmm.
So it took me a little while to really be able to see it trickle down into the details in our day-to-day.
Mm-hmm.
I knew the difference it would make. And then my grandfather, his birthday would have been 95 today, who had started the whole family on investment. He had lived through the Depression, knew what it was like to save money, and played the stock market. So I knew that once we got going, we could have their style of life. They retired young and were really able to enjoy it. And that was my big picture. That's all I had. He had the rest of the big picture.
Okay. So you had a family that modeled frugality and investing for you.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's good.
Yes.
And so in a sense, you're kind of glad he got on board of this whole money thing, but then he was doing it wrong.
A little bit.
As far as how you felt about it, right?
Yeah. It took me a little bit to let go of the credit card and to really buy into cash. And now when I go shopping and I don't have cash, I kind of feel funny.
Very cool. So you did the Total Money Makeover audiobook together?
Audiobook, yep. Well, I kind of listened to it first, and I came home and I did the thing, of course, like I said, we need to get out of debt. But once we started talking about what we wanted to accomplish and stuff, then she got more on board with that. And her parents live about an hour away, so we'd get in the car and drive out there, and I'd just kind of plug in your different radio shows and the audiobook and kind of get her to listen to it. So after a while, she started coming around.
So Jen, your mom and dad had to be watching going, okay, this guy you married starting to grow a brain. He's starting to think about money.
Yes.
They got to be pretty proud.
They are.
So, yes.
They are.
Yeah,
that's why we drug them down here with us today.
Okay, they're with you to
Yes,
celebrate. Oh, that's perfect. Okay, as it should be.
Yep.
That's good because your grandpa's birthday today is what a great way to celebrate.
Yes.
Definitely.
I mean, that's just wonderful because I'm sure he's smiling.
Yes, definitely.
Yes.
No question about it. Looking at his little Jen, and there she is. I love it. That's fun. All right, Timothy and Jennifer, South Bend, Indiana, paid off $20,000 in 6 months, making $72,000 a year. Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
3, 2, 1. We're debt-free!
Great job. Great job, great job, great job. Man. Open phones this hour at 888-825-5225. You jump in, we'll talk. Our question of the day comes from Blinds.com. Start the process of updating your home for the holidays with new sample packs from Blinds.com. That includes the best sellers, the modern fixes, patterns and textures, and more. Lots of ideas. And the sample packs are all free. It just helps you figure out what you want to do with the blinds for your windows. Blinds.com. Great company. Josh in Michigan gives us our question. I'm hoping to become a partner in a large accounting firm. As part of the agreement, there is a $200,000 buy-in. The firm will finance it and withhold payments from my salary for a few years. Should I do that or save up and pay for it in cash? Well, I don't believe in debt, Josh, and so it would be wrong for me to teach you to go into debt. I would save up and pay for it in cash, and even then, I'm a little bit hesitant as to what you're getting for $200,000. What happens if you leave the firm with the $200,000? Your portion of the partnership. Is there a buyout in return, plus or minus? what rights do you have as a partner in a large accounting firm, as the buy-in? That's a heavy investment, and to have a minority interest and not have control of the environment. They can do all kinds of things you don't agree with because you're a minority. You can't outvote them. You don't have a 51% ownership position. $200,000 is a lot of money to not be in control. I'm not a fan much. Really not. I think it's a good chance. I mean, if you had an extra $200,000 laying around, that's one thing. But if that's your entire investment world, is your partnership share in this accounting firm, and you don't have control of what's going on, even if you pay cash, that scares me, honestly. There's a lot of bad stories could be told. There's a lot of good ones can be told. A lot of good things can happen. But you really need to learn what your rights are in your worst case scenarios there. Again, open phones here at 888-825-5225. You jump in and we will talk. Jason's in Salt Lake City. Hi, Jason. How are you?
Great. Thanks, Dave, for taking my call.
Sure. How can I help?
Yeah, I've got a question about financial planning and debt. I'm a newer listener, but I'm familiar with your baby steps. I'm seeing if you'd suggest a different way to go about my financial planning, or if I'm an exemption to the rule or special in any way. My wife and I are 32. We've been married for 2 years with a baby on the way. We have no debt until 2 months ago when I started dental school, and then the debt drastically rose. So it's $80,000 a year for dental school. And so I'm looking at 4 years of that for $320,000, including the interest. My wife makes about $60,000 a year, and we'd like for her to not work once I'm out of school, because we'll probably have a couple or a few kids by then. And so I'm kind of questioning about how do I go about. Obviously, we're going to try to attack this as quick as possible. Hopefully, I'm thinking 6 to 8 years to be out of debt if I was to be just an associate, just working for somebody else. But I'd really like the option of owning my own private practice down the road, because the pay's average about double with a lot more risk, I know. So seeing kind of what you think, and if while I'm working off the debt, if I was to start something, my own, or to buy a practice while I'm working off that debt.
Well, you're pretty convinced using debt is a great way to live. And I'm not, because of the way you asked the question. And so what you're outlining for me scares the crap out of me.
Yeah.
And so what I would tell you to do is, at a minimum, the very minimum you ought to do is work like a crazy person, and she works like a crazy person, and clear the debt as fast as you can after you graduate. And don't go in debt to buy a practice.
Mm-hmm.
Period. You find another way to get into a practice. You work into the back door, you share the profits that would have been there for a few years with the guy, and you let those profits buy him out. But you don't need to go, you're going to go from $320,000 in debt to another $460 in debt, and you're going to spend your whole freaking life paying back debts in order to be a dentist. I mean, you're outlining for me $700,000 worth, $800,000 worth of debt here, in order to get to be a dentist, making $150,000, $200,000 a year. It doesn't make sense. So you need a different plan than that involves getting out of debt quickly and permanently, and finding another way to get into a practice ownership position. Otherwise, I think you're really going to be miserable. This is the Dave Ramsey Show.
You're listening to KCAA Loma Linda at 106.5 FM, K293CF Moreno Valley.
California headline news: a Downey police officer shot to death in the parking lot of police department headquarters.
We have several people detained, and we're in the process of looking for several more. It appears like he was targeted. It doesn't look like it was random.
Lieutenant John Carina with the LA County Sheriff's Office says the victim is Officer Ricardo Valdez, who'd been with the department for 5 years, shot in his own vehicle as he prepared to leave work for home overnight. 2 off-duty New York police officers who happen to be in California take down a suspect they spot trying to stab a Hollywood tourist in the neck.
The cops did exactly what they do in New York. They sprang into action, tackling the suspect and holding him for local police. The tourist under underwent emergency surgery. He's stable. The LAPD crediting the two New York detectives with saving his life.
Correspondent Sarah Lee Kessler. LA and San Francisco area residents among those who can have Uber deliver a flu shot to their door today by selecting the Uber Health option until 3 this afternoon. Pay $10 and a nurse comes to your door. Geico Weather, more dry conditions. Jeff Scott, California News.
Call Quicken Loans now at 800-QUICKEN to see if you qualify for the government's Home Affordable Refinance Program, or HARP. And for 5 years in a row now, J.D. Power has ranked Quicken Loans highest in the nation in customer satisfaction. And for the second year in a row, they've also ranked us highest in mortgage servicing. Call 800-QUICKEN or visit QuickenLoans.com.
Visit jdpower.com for award information. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLSConsumerAccess.org. Number 3030.
At Luxor Las Vegas, book your room on Luxor.com and you are guaranteed the lowest rate you can find. Luxor features the best in entertainment and award-winning shows, including Chris Angel Believe, Blue Man Group, Carrot Top, and Fantasy. Public House caters to every taste with 20 draft beers, comfort food, and over 20 screens. Tender Steak and Seafood offers an impressive array of beef favorites, and the Backstage Deli is open 24 hours a day. Book your room on Luxor.com for the lowest rate, guaranteed.
It's time for the KCAA Community Calendar, brought to you exclusively by Learn for Life, a growing network of public charter schools. The clear mission of Learn for Life is to motivate and mentor students who have dropped out of school and provide them with the personalized education and technical training necessary to advance their lives.
Here's a look at the KCAA Community Calendar. I'm Di Rice. The 4th annual Eat and Be Well serves up free, fun food and much-needed health services to Inland Empire's underserved populations. The annual Project Boone event draws hundreds of people together for a fun-filled day of feasting, music, and dancing. The 4th annual Eat and Be Well happens November 25th, the day before Thanksgiving, at Seville Park in Fontana, beginning at 10 a.m. The goal of Eat and Be Well is to serve over 1,500 attendees, and Eat and Be Well relies on donations to cover the cost of food items. Eat and Be Well also serves up long-term health and wellness by partnering with other nonprofits that have programs to help the underserved population. You can contribute or sign up to volunteer at Eat and Be Well's website, or you can drop off canned food like sweet potatoes, corn, green beans, and cranberry sauce at Cowboy Burgers and Barbecue in Rancho Cucamonga. For more information, visit www.eatbewell.org and help put the giving into Thanksgiving with the 4th annual Eat and Be Well celebration. Again, go to www.eatbewell.org and be a part of the giving this holiday season. That's a look at the community calendar on KCAA 1050 AM and 106.5 FM.
The KCAA Community Calendar is presented exclusively by Learn for Life, a growing network of public charter schools where students can complete their education on a part-time basis. To find a resource center nearest you, call 1-877-360-LEARN or visit Learn for Life online at learn4life.org.
Do you like cars, racing, adventure and speed, motorsports of any kind? If it has speed, high performance, or burns octane, there's a brand new show for you. Do you have 1030 weight in your blood, or are you running on 104 performance octane? Then gear up for a brand new show on KCAA called Kcaa Racing. Tune in Saturdays at 4 p.m. with host Joe Britt for news, interviews, and all kinds of stuff you can use about racing and the automotive world. Whether it's learning how to put spark plugs in or spark up your supercharger, Joe's got the answer for you.
Ready, buddy? Ready. All right, Dan. Get it up.
Kcaa Racing. Find out how Joe built the Stallion GT1 exotic sports car, or hear the area's best experts on automotive questions. It's Kcaa Racing, right here, where we put you in the driver's seat and it doesn't stop till you cross the finish line. Saturdays at 4 p.m. right here on KCAA. It's Kcaa Racing.
Well, see you later. Come on, guys, let's go.
The Rialto Democratic Club proudly announces WHO, that's WHO, or We Honor Ours. This is the signature fundraiser of the year, November 20th from 5 till 9 p.m. WHO honors people helping people in the Inland Empire. There will be a special guest speaker, entertainment, 50-50 raffles, and great food. It's your opportunity to meet and greet some of our local politicians and help recognize those who have provided the Inland Empire with outstanding outstanding service in our community. Don't miss WHO, the red carpet event at Rialto Senior Center at 1411 South Riverside Avenue in Rialto from 5 till 9, Friday, November 20th. Tickets are $35 in advance and $45 at the door. For more information about WHO, we honor ours. Call Marciella Ferguson at 909-717-2083. That's 909-717-2083. See you November 20th.
Your voice, your opinions, heard round the world at www.kcaaradio.com. The station that leaves no listener behind, KCAA.
Joining me for a couple of segments, we're going to talk about kids and money. You got questions about kids and money? Rachel Cruz is with me here for a little while. My co-author of the #1 New York Times bestselling book, Smart Money, Smart Kids. Also happens to be my daughter and the mother of one of my grandkids. So there you go. That completely qualifies her for all of this. So we're going to talk about kids and money. If you want to talk, the phone number is 888-825-5225. Our producer's cleaning off the phone lines to open up just for kids and money calls right now. The phone number, 888-825-5225. So whether you have a little one or a 23-year-old you can't get out of the house, we'll talk anywhere in between. Jump in and we'll talk kids and money. 888-825-5225. Welcome back, Rachel.
Thank you. Thanks so much for having me back on.
Well, we're both back fresh off of the SMART conference. Speaking of Smart Money, Smart Kids, and you spoke not about Smart Money, Smart Kids, but about money and some of the stuff you're working on for a new book that you're starting to put together, right?
That's exactly right. Yeah, I did the money portion of the SMART conference, which was a big deal considering it was a Dave Ramsey event and he did a different talk at the end. So I took the money portion, which was actually really exciting. So yeah, I am working on a new book that tentatively will be out next fall. And a big part of it is just what I'm seeing around what I feel myself when it comes to money and what I feel like other people are seeing. And so much of this comparison thing is such a huge part of how we handle our money. And so a big portion of my talk, which was titled Blank the Joneses. So you have to fill in that blank is what I told the audience, whether that's delete the Joneses, unfollow the Joneses, forget the Joneses, whatever it is, you have to get the Joneses out of your mind because they're probably broke. And if you're trying to follow their lifestyle, you'll probably end up broke as well. Because comparison will dead end. The road of comparison will always dead end with debt because you'll spend money that you don't have. Like you say, to impress people you don't really like. So getting yourself under control and finding your priorities in the life you want to live.
And, we run into that not only with ourselves, but that does kind of segue into the subject of Smart Money, Smart Kids. Parents, it's almost as if their kid has to be dressed a certain way, or their kid has to be handling money a certain way, or their kid has to be given an allowance, or the kid has to be – there's money subjects around people comparing and keeping up as well, isn't there?
Oh, my gosh, absolutely. And
Baby
being a new mom. And
Baby gap. That's it right there.
And I get it, though. And as a new mom, that's the thing is as I see these women, I'm like, no, I get it. Like, I understand wanting to go into Baby Gap and – cash out your retirement and just buy everything in sight, right? I mean, like there's so many great things. And so I get that idea of you want to give your kids the best, yes, but also you're integrated with Facebook and Instagram and you see what everyone else has and what you feel like, you need to make your life. And so I understand that pressure for sure. But again, doing what's best for you and your family. And part of that is telling yourself no, telling your kids no, teaching them boundaries and limits with money. And so all of these things, if you can ingrain that in them early, that foundation that's built is huge for them.
Yeah, because the kid will use comparison to try to keep you from doing anything. Little Johnny down the street doesn't have to do that. He doesn't have to give money.
We never did that to you guys growing up, did we?
No, you never brought up what other kids do, to which we always said, the standard federally issued parenting line is, well, if little Johnny jumped off a cliff, would you, that's a federal mandate that parents are allowed to say that line. But, just because other people do it doesn't mean we have to do it. We don't let them set our value system. We set our value system, and out of that, then we make our decisions. And our beliefs determine our actions that way. And that certainly includes teaching your kids. So we wrote this book, Smart Money, Smart Kids. It comes out a year ago, April, so it's 18 months old.
Yeah.
It debuts #1 on the Times. At the time, you were taking the position, I took the position as the dad that raised a money smart kid. And as an adult, you were taking the position, I'm the kid that was raised that way, and now here's how I turned out. And so here's how I viewed it growing up, and now looking back how I view it. But now another thing has happened. Little Amelia is born a year after the book comes out. So now as a mom, how has that changed your perspective on this money smart kid thing?
Yeah, I would say after having a baby, I feel more of a weight than I thought I would with the responsibility of raising a human being in today's culture. And I feel like I understand the fight that parents have. And I don't fully understand because she's 6 months old. But you start to see the uphill battle you have as a parent in today's culture. So many negative things that are out there that are against you almost, or the values, I have. And so I've realized, with her and money, I'm like, gosh, there are so many things I want to do. And I'll be honest, I think, because I was born the year we filed bankruptcy. So I got to see you guys in your pain coming out of it, early memories of, living in that tiny house and driving, being driven to school in nasty old cars with the foam coming out of the back seat, right? I mean, we kind of experienced the bottom of it and walked with you guys through your success. But thankfully, she's born into a house where Winston and I were not perfect with money, but we have been able to do it right. And, we still have to live within our means and all of that. But, we've been able to be debt-free and things like that. So I feel like we're in a different starting position. So it makes me, with her, want to take an even stricter approach and make her maybe work harder and pay for even more things. And like we did 401 Dave and you matched our car growing up. And a part of me wants to be like, I'm sorry, you have to pay for the whole car. I feel like I'm going to overcorrect the opposite way and make her do more than you even guys made us. Just to protect that. Because you get nervous.
I remember when we were writing the book, there was I wrote one chapter, and you and some of the people in content, we got in a big argument in the writing meeting because I used a lot of war language. This is a war. It's a battle, and you have to fight and claw and scratch. And they're like, these are little children, don't say war.
It was more contentment.
But, it is. But it is a war. And, and that's what you're saying. You realize that even more now.
Yes.
It's like you feel that protection.
You are in battle for your child. I mean, you feel that.
You're fighting for your kid to have some sense in a world gone crazy.
Yes. Yes.
So children are always watching what we do. What are some of the things you're doing today to encourage people to teach your kids to give?
For the parents, I guess, is what you're asking.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, I would say, gosh, in the subject of giving as a parent, at all money, I like to say that more is caught than taught, but that's especially true with giving. I mean, if you're not giving yourself, your kids are not seeing that example. And I know that's one thing you did so well. As parents, you guys brought us kids in to your giving, and that was huge. Not only do we experience giving with our own allowance, I think it was like $1 a week, but the big things that you guys did, we came along and got to experience that as well.
Yeah, you get to participate and feel the emotions of it. The book is Smart Money, Smart Kids, teaching kids how to handle money. #1 New York Times bestseller with Rachel Cruz, my daughter, and me. And now it's a class, and it's an amazing class. It's a really, really good class. It's a 6-lesson video-based study where Rachel and I show parents how to teach their kids about money, about hard work, about responsibility, about patience, about gratitude, about contentment. And if it doesn't, it doesn't matter whether you got a toddler or a teenager. You can start wherever you are, and you can teach them to be more successful adults. Maybe you didn't teach them other things in their life, but you can start at any point. And these lessons are fun. They're easy. Most of them are taught by Rachel. I'm in a few of them. And you're going to love this material. It's called Smart Money, Smart Kids. Go to Smart Money, Smart Kids and get the membership. And you can either take a class with a group of people, or you can do it as an at-home class, either one. Smart Money, Smart Kids, the class. And you can just check it out, smartmoneysmartkids.com or daveramsey.com, or call customer care at 888-22-PEACE, 888-227-3223. What was your favorite part of putting that class together?
The class? Oh, gosh. I think diving deep into the age-appropriate activities. We give parents really specific things to do depending on the age of their child, and I think that's great because so many parents want those practical tools for their kid at their age specifically, and we give that to them.
Little known inside baseball, behind-the-scenes thing. Rachel was pregnant, and no one knew it except me.
Yes.
And she was having morning sickness while we were doing the video shoot. So
not good.
Yeah, you won't see it. It's all edited out, I promise. But a little known fact there about the Smart Money, Smart Kids class. Now, back with your questions about kids and money right here on the Dave Ramsey Show.
We can't be everything to everyone, or can we? The station that leaves no listener behind, KCAA.
Looking for the latest news in the new Loma Linda University Medical Center? It's in the Loma Linda City News, along with more local news in a calendar section with what to do and where to go for fun. The Loma Linda City News, in print and online at lomalindacitynews.com.
KCAA.
What is San Bernardino going to do with the Carousel Mall? Keep track of the mall development and more local news in the San Bernardino City News. Local sports, education, business, and entertainment news in print and online at sanbernardinocitynews.com.
One of the most overlooked priorities in a family's financial plan is life insurance. Having it and having the right amount are crucial. If you died, how would your family pay the bills, put food on the table, and plan for the future? Term life insurance is protection for the ones you love. It's not complicated and it's not expensive. People need to deal with this, which is why I found a company I trust and I do business with, Xander. Please take the time to take care of your family.
The story and now it's time for another Support San Bernardino Spotlight.
Hi, my name is George Hahn. I am the Senior Minister at the Center for Spiritual Living Inland Empire. In the next few weeks, we would like to support San Bernardino by highlighting the outstanding things about our city. Today's program features Reverend Irma Forward.
We are the Center for Spiritual Living Inland Empire, teaching science of mind, a spiritual philosophy which empowers the individual to express creatively and to live a successful life. We practice affirmative prayer based on the teachings of Ernest Holmes. Sunday services begin at 10 a.m. During the week, we offer classes as an adjunct to Sunday services. These classes present a basic idea for successful living. On Saturday, December 5th, there is a family Christmas concert featuring renowned guitarist Rob Reynolds and family. On December 21st, there is a candlelight service with traditional holiday music. Julie Edwards Matanga will lead the Christmas bells. We look forward to serving you and meeting your spiritual needs.
Thank you, Reverend Irma. This program was underwritten by Center for Spiritual Living Inland Empire. If you would like information about today's program, please contact me, Reverend George, by calling 909-883-7171. That's 909-883-7171.
Rachel Cruz, my guest this half hour, author of the #1 New York Times bestselling book, Smart Money, Smart Kids, along with me, her proud dad. She'll be speaking again with me this weekend in Denver at the Smart Conference. It's a day-long conference with the top parenting, top marriage, top people on boundaries. That's Meg Meeker on parenting, on boundaries, Dr. Henry Cloud, Dr. Les Parrott absolutely killed it this weekend talking about marriage. It was absolutely phenomenal. Rachel will be speaking on money and the comparison trap that she was talking about a few minutes ago. And, of course, I'll be there speaking. Chris Hogan will be there speaking on retirement. Christy Wright, Chris Brown. It's a day-long conference, and you would pay this ticket price to see any one of these speakers. A single one of these people in one location for that price will be a good deal, but you get them all for one really, really great price. And there's a few tickets left, not a bunch. Last weekend in Phoenix was an absolute blowout. It was a sellout. Thank you, Phoenix. And there's tickets left for this coming Saturday in Denver. So we hope you guys line up to make it. And don't forget the Smart Money, Smart Kids class I was telling you about before the break that Rachel and I have out, teaching you on a home study basis or joining a class with others. You can get it at smartmoneysmartkids.com. So taking some questions from parents about their kiddos. We'll start with Chris in Texas. Hey, Chris, your question for Rachel and me.
Yes, sir. Good to finally talk to you. I've been listening to you for a long time. I have a 5-year-old daughter, and I'm starting to kind of get her to do responsibilities by earning things around the house like chores, picking up after herself, things like that, and to where she can make, a little bit of amount. In other words, so that she works for something at which she can learn the value of work. I understand it's an early age, but, I believe get them going early. But where do you do the fine line on teaching it to where they're actually learning responsibility compared to just chasing after the money and not learning responsibility?
Rachel?
Well, I would say as you're teaching them work, I think they're learning responsibility. I think, as she has to complete a chore, whether that's, picking up after herself or feeding the dog, whatever it is, she has to learn that that's what she has to do. And the money is just a result of that. And so I believe as her having to complete a chore and she's responsible for doing that each week or each day, that in essence, I believe is teaching her responsibility over days and weeks and years of that.
Is there something not to do in doing this that could end up making it go the wrong way?
No, I don't think so. I think if you make it too money-oriented, then you just raise a little union negotiator, So we don't want everything to be about the money. So we had really 3 types of chores you did. Some you did for money, and we had the kids on commission, not allowance. You get paid, if you do the work. You don't get paid if you don't do the work. The second kind of chore was just chores that were kind of a family project. We all jumped in and cleaned out the basement one morning, or that kind of a thing, whatever it was. And the third kind of chore was just some things you do around the house because you're part of the dadgum family and we let you live here. And those are kind of responsibility chores. In other words, we didn't pay our kids for taking their dishes to the dishwasher. They did that because they loved their mother, and it was an act of love that she cooked dinner for them, and it's an act of love that they help her clean up. And so we had different things some things you were doing as an act of love as a part of the family. That teaches them to be good citizens in a community. Then the money one, we want to pay on some things because then we create teachable moments from their work. Work equals money. Like you said earlier, that was a good point, Chris. You need to learn that. And then once they've got that money in their hand, you've got 3 more things you get to teach them, and that's with the money that they quote-unquote earned, you can teach them to give some of it, to save some of it, and to spend some of it. And we broke that up into 3 little envelopes. I'm going to send you a copy. I'm going to send you one of our Financial Peace Junior kits. That's got all the stuff in it to put the chore board on the refrigerator. It's got the 3 envelopes in it, the give, save, spend, and a little instruction book in there, and it'll show you exactly what to do. I'll give it to you as a gift. And hold on, I'll have Laura pick up and we'll ship that to you. And it'll show you exactly how to do a lot of those things. Regina is with us in Las Vegas. Hi, Regina. How are you?
Dave, I am absolutely wonderful now that I have you on the line.
Well, how can we help?
Well, good afternoon to both you and Rachel. I am a mother of 3. Thank you for the 5-year-old information, but now I'm concentrating on my other sons. I have a son who's 23 and 19. Both are, in my book, extremely intelligent and extremely well-versed. But my oldest son is accruing debt. He went and leased a car, and he is a mechanic. So, unfortunately, somebody has convinced him that he has to have all these newest, latest, greatest tools, and then he went on and bought the newest, latest, greatest, and the best of. So unfortunately, he's incurred debt not only with the car, but also with the tools.
Okay. Does he
now,
live at home?
He does not. He actually lives on his own. He lives with a girlfriend, and she's wonderful. But they both have cars, and they both have tremendous debt. And I'm trying to get them on the right path. But as a mom, it's hard to say, Mom says, and you know how that works, I'm sure, as a dad.
It doesn't work. It doesn't work once they're on their own. You can no longer use your mother voice. Mom. Yeah, you can't use your mother voice anymore. I've got 3 grown kids, and I can't use my daddy voice anymore. It just doesn't work. They just look at me.
Exactly. And, you know, I'm trying to be that new relationship mom, but it's hard because I'm really trying to tell them what I'm doing as far as my debt snowball and share that with them, but sharing it still comes out as the mom voice.
Let's take it from the kids' perspective in that situation, the grown children. That's kind of an oxymoron, if you will. But you know,
or out there.
Well, I've got one. It's a child of mine who is now grown, so it's not an oxymoron. But so, Rachel, how would you tell that mom to speak? Because I'm sitting here, I'm your dad. How would you tell that mom to speak to a grown son who's making some mistakes?
Yeah, well, I think first, if he's not willing to listen, then that's an uphill battle. Obviously, you wish that he was seeking your advice because that's an obviously much easier conversation. But I would, like you said earlier, you can't use your mom voice. And so to go in and just say, hey, you know, maybe even just maybe, I don't know how you raised him when it comes to money, but just saying, you know, first off, I wish that I had taught you this stuff earlier because I believe your life is going to be so much easier if you take this step. And let me show you what it's doing to me. Like you said, you talked to him about your debt snowball and just say that this is what I'm doing. And I hope you guys can get on board. Maybe here's some tools for you all. And I even would suggest letting, if you're able to get a copy of the Total Money Makeover, letting Dave be the voice that teaches them how to handle money. Maybe sometimes through a third party, that's easier to hear than from your own mom.
So, Regina, what I've practiced doing now, and I don't always do it, and Rachel will testify to the fact that I don't always do it, but what I try to practice with our kids, all 3 of our kids are out of the house. They all live on their own. They all pay their own bills. And so they're adults. They have the right to be stupid. It's not illegal. And so what I practice with them is I try to treat them when I see something like I would treat a friend of mine, not one of my kids. And so what if one of my friends was doing something that was dumb? And you got to change that changes your voice and it changes your words that you use. And so you Regina, I've got some friends that are stupid. Do you have any stupid friends?
Yes, sir.
Okay, treat your 23-year-old like he's one of your stupid friends. Because you got to use a different tact. You don't use your mom voice with them, and you don't use mom language with them. When it's your friend, you have to persuade them, and you have to be gentle, and you have to be diplomatic, and you have to reach somehow down into their heart and hook them. And you say, listen, you know, and a good way to do that with your friends / 23-year-old is to say, hey, here's some dumb things I've done in the past, and I made this mistake and this mistake and this mistake, and then I started doing these other things, and man, it feels so good to be out of debt. And man, I felt so bad when I was in debt I couldn't breathe. I felt stressed all the time. It affected my relationship with my husband. And you just talk about you and what it felt like then when you got free. And, you know, one of the things that helped me do this was this class, Financial Peace University. And you know what? If you ever wanted to go to that class, I'd pay for it for you because it just changed my life. It rocked my world or whatever. And then you just let me do all the talking by getting them in the class and you pay for it. But don't go, you're stupid with money. You're an idiot. And if you keep doing this, you're going to wreck your life. And I'm going to pay for this class so you don't wreck your life. That's not going to work.
I totally agree with you, Dave. And there's a little caveat here that I need to add to this. You know, both of them, they lost their dad about 6 months ago, and it was devastating to both of them. And I think that's also drawing.
Then you can use that.
Role.
You can use that too. You can say, hey, when I was hurting, I wanted to medicate with spending. And I don't know about you, but it made me feel better kind of when I spent. But then I got myself into a mess. And I worry about somebody else I know, wink, wink, doing that. So that's how I would get at it. Rachel, thanks for joining me.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me on.
Rachel Cruz this weekend at the Smart Conference and smartmoneysmartkids.com.
If you're trying to prevent home foreclosure, you need a law firm with extensive experience representing clients in protecting their homes from foreclosure. The Goodman Law Firm is a nationwide team of mortgage mitigation attorneys that provides legal advice and expertise you can trust. Our nationwide network includes local of